loves. So today's video, I'll be updating you guys on my 39 to 40 week pregnancy update. I'm currently overdue. I'm currently 3 days overdue. My due date was September 4th and now it's September 7th. And I'm going to start off with my 39th week. My 39th week, I started to feel that feeling in your stomach where it feels like the skin can't possibly stretch any further than it has already stretched. The skin on my stomach started burning. The itching continued. Basically, it would burn and itch really bad. And another thing that makes the skin hurt and burn just a little bit more is my belly button is already poked out completely. It can't poke out any further than it already pokes out, and the baby likes to put different parts of its upper body, like its hand or its elbow, into my belly button and just push as hard as it possibly can push, and that hurts really, really bad. And I don't know if it likes doing that because it just finds this extra room to put itself, but I basically have to rub my belly button and kind of gently push the body part out of that area, and then of course the baby will put the body part right back into my belly button again. Along with the stretching of my skin and the burning of my skin, I definitely get more and more stretch marks every day. And most of my stretch marks are in one generalized area. It's all around my belly button, to the side of my belly button, underneath my belly button, and above my belly button, but it's all in that area. I think that's where most of the baby's weight is the lower part of my stomach where my belly button is. So that's where the stretch marks are. That's where my belly burns the most. That's where my belly itches the most, all centered around that area. So now I want to talk about my 40th week of pregnancy. So I had a doctor's appointment in my 40th week. And there was obviously a lot to discuss because obviously I had the doctor's appointment on my due date and my baby wasn't coming. One of the first things she did was listen to the heartbeat, and then she checked to see if I was dilated. And y'all, I know in my previous videos I told you guys, oh, it doesn't hurt when she checks to see if it's dilated or if I'm dilated, but this time it was so painful. And this time I was actually dilated, so I don't know if that makes a difference, that when you're dilated, it's more painful than when you're not dilated. And at first she was like, you're a ½ inch dilated. And then she kept checking. So for her to keep checking, she basically just kept putting more and more pressure. Yeah, and it was just so painful. And she checked about, I would say 3 or 4 times. And then by the end, she was like, well, you're probably an inch dilated, but a really tight inch. So basically I was barely an inch dilated at my 40-week appointment. But anyways, I basically asked her, I'm like, when is this baby gonna come? And she told me the baby would come basically over the weekend. And I got checked on Thursday, and she basically said by the weekend I should be having the baby. Now it's Sunday, the weekend's almost over, no baby in sight. I honestly didn't think that I would have the baby this weekend. I just don't feel like the baby's coming right now or anytime soon. I don't have contractions on a regular basis. I don't have contractions that often at all. I might have a couple a day. On Thursday, the day she checked me, I had a ton of contractions all day that day, and I think it had to do with her checking me. I think just aggravated me down there and produced contractions. But on a normal everyday basis, I don't get that many contractions. I do get contractions, but just not that many to say, oh, I'm gonna have a baby soon. I just feel like even though this is my first child, I just know my body so well, and I honestly feel like the baby is gonna go at least a week overdue, if not 2 weeks overdue. After I get a couple more things done, I'm going to start walking a ton because I don't want to be induced. Like I said in my previous videos, I want to go all natural, and since I don't want to be induced, I know that I need to start walking a ton. So I'm gonna start walking every day, and I plan to walk maybe 2 or 3 times a day. I also plan to eat pineapples, and I also plan to eat spicy foods and see if in some way those can induce labor. But definitely going to focus on walking and squatting as well. I'm gonna do a ton of squatting. But I do want the baby to come on its own. So, like I said, my last doctor's appointment was Thursday, and that's when she said I would have the baby this weekend. The baby hasn't come. So she told me that I have to come back to the doctor on Monday. So I'm basically living at the doctor now. Thursday and then again back tomorrow on Monday. She said on Monday she wants to check the baby out on a sonogram, ultrasound, whatever. I wasn't supposed to get any more sonograms or ultrasounds, but since the baby's overdue and hasn't come, I'm getting another one. She wants to make sure my fluid levels are still good. She wants to make sure the baby's still growing and thriving in there despite the fact that I'm overdue. And then once she's able to see how the baby's doing in there, with me being overdue, she can maybe decide on how long I can go overdue. I asked her about being induced because of course I don't want to be induced, and so she said that she'll be able to talk about that more once she's able to see how the baby's doing. And after Monday, I don't know when I'll have to go back again. It just seems like I'm gonna have to be there pretty often, even more than once a week, with me being overdue. I'm 166 pounds. I was 166 pounds at my 40-week appointment, and I'm still about 166 pounds, and my wrist hurts so bad from all that weight when I try to lift myself up. Obviously my body's not used to being 166. That's just a lot for me. And I really wonder at what weight that I'm gonna end up being. I think that I might end up just being 166, but at most I think I'll get to 170. But yeah, the weight is definitely hurting my wrists, and it's also been hurting the arches of my feet as well. All that weight, because I don't have an actual arch. I'm flat-footed, but where my arch should be, that's where my feet hurt if I walk for too long of a time. The last thing is, I talked about this in another one of my videos, is I'm super leaky. Baby powder is my best friend, not only for the leakiness, but for the sweating. It's part of the process, so I am dealing with it. But yeah, I think that's all for my update. Like I said, I'm overdue. And every day that goes by, I get more and more ready for this baby to come, but still very anxious about the whole process, just because I've never been through it before, and I know it's gonna be a ton of work, and it's gonna be a ton of pain. I hope you guys enjoyed this update. You will be seeing a belly shot up next at 40 weeks and 3 days overdue. And who knows, this might be my last update, it might not be. Hey loves, so this is, what I'm wearing right now. I do have shorts underneath, as you can see, but I wanted to show you guys me at 40 weeks in 3 days. Bye loves.